Hey, good weekend to you. Welcome to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. Good to have you along ahead. It may be the summer recess, but that doesn't mean the wheels of government aren't turning down in Columbus. They certainly are. And Leading Edge is there with a State House update. But first, and with apologies to those of you who are watching this over breakfast, the incredible and revolting story out of Maumee, where the city of Maumee has been dumping millions of gallons of raw sewage into the river called Maumee for decades, all after lying to the Ohio EPA and claiming the dumping had long ago stopped, when in fact it hadn't. Rich Carr is the mayor of the city of Maumee. He joins us now. Let's underscore he was not in city government when Maumee first told the EPA that it had fixed the problem of sewage overflows by separating stormwater and sewage lines. We're going back some 25 years here, Rich Carr. Were those lines, those sewage lines, stormwater and raw sewage, were they ever separated as someone in Maumee claimed?
The lines were separated. The problem, what we have learned, is that they went back in and were then discharging through other means and also pumping into the river. So they continued to discharge even after the storm sewers were separated.
Post 1996, do the math on it, folks. We're talking, what, 25 years here. Your city reported no sewage discharges into the river. I do believe that's a correct statement. Who was signing those reports? And I know some will wonder, shouldn't someone up the line, a city manager, that's your form of government, a mayor, shouldn't somebody have known?
Well, Jerry, first of all, as far as the mayor goes, ours is a part-time position.
I know, you're a lawyer by trade.
Correct. And so you rely upon the people in your city administration. This goes back to, we had a service director in place in 1996. Since then, we've had three. Our city administrator was there from 2000 to 2019. And they should have known what the law is, what the duty to report is. When we learned, what happened is we had our city administrator retire, we had our service director retire, our service commissioner's job was replaced, and the supervisor in charge of reporting retired. With all those retirements, an employee stepped forward, told our newest city administrator that we were discharging into the Maumee River. The city administrator immediately told me, and I immediately instructed him, based on what I had been informed by him and the law director, that we had a duty to report. We immediately reported it to the EPA. That should have been done years ago. It should have been determined by the city administrator, and it never was.
It should certainly have been. Probably something else that should have been going on during all of this. So again, bringing you up to speed here, folks. Maumee Mayor Carr, his administration self-reported now to the Ohio EPA upon finding out that they were dumping raw sewage into the Maumee. They might have had to wake the Ohio EPA when they notified them. My tongue's a little bit in cheek here, but you now have an agreement with the Ohio EPA that you can continue dumping sewage, raw sewage into the river?
We are, Jerry, the city of Toledo has an agreement with the EPA to continue. In 2018, the city of Toledo discharged 324 million gallons into the river. So far in 2021 through July 22nd, the city of Toledo's discharged 105 million gallons into the Maumee River. It's a very small percentage of what goes in according to the EPA. That doesn't mean that Maumee should not have reported it. But this is something that's going on all over. The fact is that because Maumee reported in 1996 that they had satisfied the requirements of the EPA, right, we no longer were able to discharge. Because Toledo is under an order, they have an amount they are allowed to discharge while they try to get theirs fixed, and that's the same thing Maumee is doing.
Well, now, again, for some perspective, Rich Carr, it is true that during heavy rainfalls, when the stores they're just flooded, no pun intended. But the city of Toledo now, it discharges a fraction of what it used to. I mean, it spent 20 years building these great, big, huge those great big underground storage tanks and the like.
Sure.
Okay, so that's where we are. You frankly think, Rich Carr, not to absolve Maumee of blame here. You're not doing that, right? I'm not hearing that.
Absolutely not. When I was told, we acknowledged right away that we were doing wrong.
And you frankly think the Ohio EPA was totally asleep at the wheel during this time?
Yeah, I do not know how the EPA works. I know that Maumee, we can't even find in Maumee the 1984 agreement or the 1996 letter that was sent to the EPA. They are going to provide those to us. What we do know is that it was not followed up on by the EPA. And you had mentioned reports before. If we were discharging the city of Maumee, and the supervisor is aware of this because it's part of his testing requirements, it had to be reported to county sewer district. Maumee was not even filing any reports with the county or the state. The only year we find that Lucas County provided us an email from 2017, I believe, which said in 2016 we did not discharge anything. That's the only report we found. The rest of the years we find no reports were filed.
Well, that is where we are. It's a mess. Now we have to look forward. How do we get off mud to this thing? Who's going to pay the bill? He's Rich Carr. He's the mayor of the city of Maumee. We're going to pick it up right there when Leading Edge returns right after this.